but I need to just come and sort that out.
Morning.
Okay, broadcast first. Today then, kicking us off, please.
Start with some interviews, please.
It's good. It's only Collins. And okay, Antonio, he had that bruise on a rib, and he only trained yesterday since Brighton game, and even yesterday was without contact and all that. So we're gonna see today. Well, you know that we played a couple of days ago, and the trains, and then the players had a regeneration. The players who played the majority of the game against Spurs. So we're gonna see today. We have a training at 2:00, and then after this training we're gonna. But nobody said something yesterday, like day after the game, that they felt this or that. They were tired, of course. So we're gonna see today, as I said.
So Antonio will train?
He will train today, yeah. And then based on that training, we're gonna see in what shape he is for tomorrow's game.
So what did a comeback like that, at a venue like that, against opponents like that, do for the squad? You must have noticed a difference just in the last couple of days.
Oh, yeah, it means a lot, of course. Like every defeat gets you a little bit down, although you have to stay, and it's the key to stay stable in whatever situation you are. But of course, also every win gives you a bit of a boost and better atmosphere for the whole team and also for the individuals, especially if it happens like it happened the other night. As you said, in a very important game against Spurs, it's always a special kind of the game, and especially on that venue at Wembley, to come back from 2-0 down to 3-2, it gave us a lot of confidence.
Is it true that at half-time you said, come on, it's Tottenham? Is it as simple as that? I mean, if not, what did you say to your...
No, I didn't say that. I said it after the game. I tried to say the result was very bad for us, and we didn't play good in the last third of the pitch. We didn't penetrate. We didn't. The quality of our game was bad. But I also noticed that we were coming there in those areas very often. The ball possession was 55-45, which we don't have against Spurs when we play them. So I noticed if we raise the level of quality in the last third, that we have a chance, and that it is very decisive to score. I mean, the next goal was the key one, and we also improved our game when they had a ball. And from the players, I asked to raise the level. Of course, it wasn't enough, but to stay calm, not to lose focus, not to lose shape, and to try to penetrate them. That's what the guys done in a most beautiful way.
Often managers look back on if they've had a successful period at the end of their careers or at the end of their time at the club, and look at key moments that turned their fortunes at the club. Does that? Okay, it wasn't in the Premier League, but it was still nonetheless a very big result. Does it feel like that for you?
Well, we can't talk about that, and there's no point. But as you said in first couple of questions, it is very important for us, and this is very important. Not if we're looking at for the next games, but for the next game, it's very important. You know, we want to continue like that, and we want to use that kind of a win and that that kind of a self-confidence now when we approach the game tomorrow. But tomorrow is a new game, and hopefully, definitely we can, and we are in a position to build on something that was good a couple of days ago, most recently. So, but we should use it only for the next game and tomorrow's game. We have a big game, massive game. It's a different competition. It is a game of massive importance. and we have to show the quality, the character, and the thing that we showed a couple of days ago.
You said a few minutes ago that the squad is relatively healthy in terms of injuries. You made 9 changes ahead of the game the other night. How much have those players done to convince you that, well, obviously they've done plenty to convince you, but how will that influence your selection? You've clearly got some players who performed better than players you had out against Brighton.
Yeah, but that was a game against Brighton, it was also, we weren't flying in a season, but we turned the corner after those three away games at the beginning of the season. So we were on a way up until that game against Brighton. So look, yeah, you're right. The guys who played, because we wanted to put a strong team out, I said that before the game against Spurs, they played, okay, we wanted to rest some players, but only because the players who played, they deserved their chance. And they already played, and they had their minutes in the Premier League or in the Cup in the previous rounds. So now the situation is that, okay, it's the most of the squad is fit, and we have to consider few things before we decide who's going to start tomorrow. First, okay, in one hand, the guys beat Spurs away in very nice way, let's say like that. So you have the team that won the game. On the other hand, you have the guys who played good, not Brighton game, but the games before that. And then what we also have to bear in mind is the situation that this game is less than 72 hours after the game against Spurs. So sometimes the energy level, you can't expect the same for the guys to repeat in that short period of time afterwards. So with all that, we're going to put all that into the consideration and decide who's going to start tomorrow. But whoever started, I said it publicly and I told it to the guys that the team is above every individual, and there's no time and no space for, how do you say it in England, long faces or whatever.
Just looking ahead to Palace, are you surprised just how bad they've been this season? I mean, 1 victory, they've hardly scored any goals, they've already dispensed with the manager.
Surprised, and not surprised, It's not nice when it's happened to the managers or to the team so early in the season. But it happened. It's happening like it happened last year or the year before. It's going to happen next year. And it's not only in England, But the start is very important, because the quality of the Premier League is so big. The quality of every club is so big and so huge that once you are in a, let's say, bad form or bad start or a crisis, it's very difficult to come out of that. So they changed the manager. They had a bad start, and I watched last 3 games of them, and they were pretty good. And they beat Chelsea, and they played well against Newcastle. And they improved, to be fair.
You got a pretty good record there in recent seasons. It was a really big win last year there as well when you were playing particularly well. Southampton and Swansea have already been there this season and won. I mean, will those kinds of sequences count for anything?
It counts. Well, you have good memories during my reign. We played them twice in 2 seasons. We won twice, 3-1 in last year. Also very important game. Every game is important, right? We beat them 1-0 when we turned the corner a bit. So it's good. But then again, it's very difficult ground. It's typically like traditional Premier League ground, and we're expecting that kind of the game tomorrow as well.
With Palace having such a bad record, do you accept that a defeat there could pile the pressure right back on you, even in spite of what happened at Tottenham?
I don't see it that way. Look, I know our situation. Our situation also determines my situation. All I can say that is a massive, important game, and we have to get some points after we lost against Brighton at home.
You're on 8 points in the Premier League, just bottom third of the division. When you see stories that you've got 2 games to save your job, what do you think of that? Have you had any conversations with the owners in recent days?
Oh, I mean, you asked me that kind of questions like a few times, so, and not only you. Look, there are rumors and all that, but I talk to chairman not every day, but often enough. And I know my situation, I know our situation, but I told you that I'm totally focused on the things that I can influence, and that is only the trainings, the talk to the players, talking to them, and the game. So I'm totally focused on the game, because only with that in your head you can improve, and you can affect those kind of rumors to change.
Tom? Any questions?
Yes, just in terms of Palace, are you pleased to be playing them now as opposed to after their win against Chelsea? They had a pretty tough defeat in the Cup, of course, and haven't won in the league since that Chelsea game that lost to Newcastle. Are you pleased to be playing them now as opposed to a couple of weeks ago?
Well, okay, when the new manager comes, it's better to play them straight away, because everybody needs a little bit of time to get to know the players, and vice versa. So okay, they beat Chelsea, and it was a big boost for them. And since Chelsea, as you said, they lost to Newcastle, although they played good and they deserved something out of that game. And no defeat is good, but that cup defeat was big for them. But then they were resting the most of the players. So we're expecting very tough game tomorrow, and very big game, the game of characters, the game of basic things, the physical game, mental game, that's going to be decided with that togetherness, but also with a bit of quality that I know that we have, and also they have. They have, but I hope that we're going to use it and make a difference. But first of all, both teams will have to be very strong mentally and physically, especially on that kind of the ground. And it's again derby. And to be fair, I'm really looking forward for that game. These are like big ones, big games, and we're expecting that tomorrow.
Would you say that this is the biggest game of your season so far, considering wanting to carry on that momentum?
We said the same against Huddersfield. Then we said the same against Swansea. Said the same against Brighton. Said the same against our trip to Burnley. So it's a Premier League. It's a Premier League. But is it a very important game? Of course, it is the most important game, because in every league, the biggest game and the most important game is the next one, and there's only that, and that's a game against Palace tomorrow. Late.
Emma, have you got a question?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, Slaven, is there a danger though, with more players, your squad are thinking we can beat Tottenham, so of course we're going to beat Crystal?
No way, no way. I mean, beat Tottenham, and I said it straight after the game, that if we think like now we beat Spurs and the wins, so good performances are going to come from like by default. No, it would be totally wrong, but it's nowhere near the case here. No, we know that, we know where we are, and we know that we have to build on that performance, or to repeat, or to make it even better, to cut off the mistakes and all that. No, we don't think like that. No, nobody thinks like that.
I spoke to Roy Hodgson after Palace had beaten Chelsea, and he said football is a game sometimes of funerals and parties. you're either celebrating a great win or it's doom and gloom because of a defeat, and it's your job to kind of steady the ship a bit as a manager?
That's a big part of your job. I mean, the whole world is no matter in what way of life. It's like there's no middle. It's all extremes. Also the weather is like that. There's no spring and autumn. There's winter or summer. So, as I said before, your job is to stay, not for the team, to keep the team balanced and in that kind of the zone, in a good zone, not to be too down when you are on a bad run or whatever, not to fly when you're winning like 3 or 4 games, always to stay focused and only to think about the next game you have. That's a big part of our job. Because everybody else is trying to bring you down if you are not good more than you are. Everybody else is trying to lift you as high as possible after a few wins, and you can't allow that, because that's very, very dangerous.
What's interesting is I heard Mark Noble saying that what he likes to see on a training ground, and from you, is that you continue to believe that the team can be successful. He wants to see that from the players, and I'm sure...
Exactly, I mean, you have to believe, and I always believed in my teams, and I will never stop believing in them, because they are my teams, they are my players. And that's what I told them before Spurs game.
Cameras up, please, guys.